Welcome to SummerZen with Jacki Rose, CZT. We're on day 3 of 3 days this week, completing the tile today. So we're going to start with our pen. Let's take a nice deep breath in and out. Getting centered, being in the present moment, letting everything go, relaxing, slowing down. And I'm going to give you 3 new patterns to fill in these triangles with, and then we'll do some shading. I just noticed this was connected, which is perfectly fine. So what? Okay, so the first one we're going to do is, I'm going to use this little one here, and I'm going to draw a line from each corner and put in a little circle on the edge. Little lollipops, straight line with a little ball at the end. They can be curved, straight, doesn't matter. And then on each side, we're going to put a little arc and color that in. It's almost like a little crescent moon or ladybug. So that's the first one. I'm going to give you 2 more. So that's one, and the next one, we're going to go from corner to corner, slightly arc shape, which we've done before, previous days. But this time we're going to aura that arc. And then, which we did do that once before, but it's totally different. So now we're going to turn the tile. And we're going to do the same thing from point to point. We're going to do this on all 3 sides. We're going to draw that arc. And here I'm going to actually go underneath rather than over. If you go over, it's okay. But we want to go, let me think. I think it's go underneath for now. And now we're going to aura that right underneath. And then turning our tile, we're going to be doing this one now. But what we're going to do is we're going to try to, well, it depends how much, if you can cross over, great. If not, actually we can still cross over. So we're going to cross over those and I'm giving that an aura. So it's like the holly bough fashion. And then we're going to start to color in, but not the whole thing. We're just going to color in the edges. And leaving that nice white highlight in the middle. I'm going to do it with this one and this one. I'm going to leave a little white space there so that because it's going underneath and I want it to show. So I'm just going to do this one a little bit differently so that it doesn't blend in so much with the others. So that's one, and I might show you how to, yeah, that's good. Okay, so I'm going to show that one again in a little while because I know that could be a little tricky. And I have one more to show you first. So the next one we're going to do is I'm going to pick this big one here to show you. Actually, I'm going to use this one here. And it's going to be very similar to what we did on day 1, like this. We're going to change it up a little bit. So we'll pick that middle section, and I'm actually going to draw a line from the middle to each corner. Curved or straight, doesn't matter. Then I'm going to do one in the middle of each one of these sections, triangles. And now we're going to put some weight on the edge. So we're just going to give it this arced line on either side and coloring that in. So on the side, we just kind of extend that line coming out and coloring that in. And if you've taken classes with me before, we've done this many times. And I think we even did this last week on a pattern. Now, if you want, you can add more lines. So I might want to add one right here. You don't have to, but if you'd like to, you can. Maybe do one there. Okay, so now I'm going to do this one again because it was a little tricky. So we're going to go do that arc line from point to point, giving it an aura. And then we're going to do that again, but we're going to go underneath. So we're going to go point to point, going underneath the previous one, and then giving that an aura. And then we'll do the same thing. So we've just aured that side, we've aured this side, and now we're going to aura that side. Doing the same thing. Going underneath. That. And then we're going to start to color the edges of one of them. And then if this one's going to go under, I'm going to come through with that just a little bit. And just leaving a highlight in the middle. And then I'll do the same here. You could add different areas so you can have other highlights throughout if you'd like. You can do whatever you want. And then we've got this one here, so I'll do one on the corner here and here. Even that little white highlight in the middle. It's kind of funky. It's sort of glary. Let's see if I turn my light off. You can see it a little bit better. Cool look. And you don't even have to color it in. Maybe you just like to leave it open. Okay, so let's put my light back on so I can see. So let's now spend some time filling the rest of these triangles in with these patterns, and then we will do some shading. Now for this one, this is really small. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to aura them or color them in. So I've got point to point arc. And then from this point, I'm going to go over that line to the next point. And then from this point, I'm going to go over both of them to the next point. So that's a real cool, so that just use that version. And actually you could even color in the triangle if you like. Maybe I'll color in the triangle and the loops. Let's see what that looks like. We can mix it up a little bit. So when you're done, you can cap your pen, put that down. If you're not done, just pause the recording and come back when you are, and we'll do our shading. So 1, 2, 3, repeat after me. Tut-tiyun! 1, 2, 3, do it again. Tut-tiyun! I didn't hear you very well, but that's okay. At least you did it. I'm sure you did. Just joking. All right, so let's pick up our pencil. And let's see, let's pick this one first. I think it's one of the first ones we did. And I'm just going to put a little graphite right on that curved section, and it might be a straight section on yours. So I'm just doing one side right now because these are small. Blend that in and maybe push out a little bit onto the other edges, keeping that middle nice and light and white. Keeping in mind, my camera does not show the true shading, but at least you can see where it's going. And for this one here, I think we'll just do each corner. And blend that in. Maybe dab a little bit in the middle. And then for this one, I'm just gonna go right along. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna actually color one side in. Let's color one side in, give it some, blend that in. And then with my tortillon, put a little bit along the edges on the other side. And with your tortillon, I'm gonna go right here, and I'm gonna go right in the middle and give it this little circular. So it's just kind of another way to, you don't have to shade each one the same way. So I'm just bringing a little bit on the outline, but giving some, maybe I can go back. No, I want to keep that white. Yeah, okay. Now let's color in one side here. Blend that in, and then with what's on the tortillon, put a little bit, give it a little shaded aura, I call it, just along the edge. And I'm going to use what's left of my tortillon, and I'm just going into the corners here and in the middle. So on this one, I'm going along the edges. I decided to go on 2 edges this time, a little bit darker. But I'm still going to continue coloring in one side of this these patterns ones. And if it's real little, I just kind of like dab somewhere in there. I don't even think too much of where it's going. Okay, very nice. I like it. All right. Now we're going to move on to the day 2 section for shading. And let's see, I think for the fescues here, I'm going to do the same thing. Just kind of go, actually I'm going to do one side, right? And blend that in. And actually you can actually color in this whole triangle, blend it in. The whole thing can be gray if you'd like. So that's one way to shade that. I kind of like that. The other way I'm thinking is maybe I'll just go right in the middle. Turn that light off so you can see that. And maybe just go right in the middle and put a little, just in a little circular motion. It's okay. I'm not sure if I'm crazy about it. Actually, I'm going to blend that in, color the whole thing in. I like that better. Yeah, and it's hard, again, it's hard to see, but I colored in this whole triangle, put a little graphite in, and then I blended it, the whole thing in with my tortillon. Okay, let's see. Now with the onomato, I'm just going to put a little bit right along these big orbs, just a little bit on the bottom there, blending that in, staying close to the bottom, and then taking what's left from the tortillon and adding a little dab on all the other ones. Even the ones in the big, yeah. So with this, I'm just going to put in some graphite on one little section and then kind of blend that in, push it out to the sides, keeping some of it white there. So picking one little section, blending it in, pushing it out, making sure we still have some white. And then with these, just adding some graphite on the bottoms of the big orbs, blending that in, and then brushing over the, the other orbs. So it has a little bit of color, just brushing over it. Now, if you'd like, you can, instead of coloring the fescues in all the way, you can leave a little white highlight in the middle. So I'm just kind of pushing it out to all sides, leaving a little bit of highlight right in the middle there. So when I turn my light off, you can see the shading a little bit better. And now we're gonna do this section. Let's see what we're gonna do here. I have to put my light on. So here, for this particular one, I'm gonna go right along the edge. This is big, so I've got that space. I'm gonna go all around the perimeter. Actually, I went outside the line there, but that's okay, who cares? And then keeping it close to the edges. Leaving the middle highlighted, white. And then with these petals here, I'm just gonna do the edges. And by the way, the patterns of all of these will be in this description in the video. Ones that have names, like this one is Janelli. I think we did that before. No, this was more like pepper rather than Janelli. And this, I'm just dabbing what's left of my tortillon, just kind of giving it a nice light shade in the background. So here, just doing the edges of the petals. Using what's left of my tortillon. Just brushing. I'm cleaning off my tortillon right now with this one. And I'm going to come back here, bring in some graphite on all three sides. Blending that in, little circular motions back and forth, the opposite direction that it was drawn on, and leaving the middle white. And then what's left of my tortillon, bringing in the edges here, and then just slightly giving this a light shade here. And then with the little ones, just brushing over them. Just giving it wherever the shade lands, it lands. Remember, there's no right or wrong in shading, so if you feel like you want to shade differently than what I'm suggesting, then you can do that. But boy, the shading, I think, really made a difference with this pattern. So we want to sign our artwork. Turn it around, look, how does it look different ways? And you've got 9 different patterns we did, 9 different ways to fill in a triangle. And there are so many others. These are just 9 out of probably hundreds. But this is what I chose today or this week. And I hope you had a great week. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you for being here.